Hello everyone, welcome to Science and Tech series with Dr. Ved Rana. Topic for today's lecture is from health section, R naught. You must have come across this term while reading various articles on COVID-19 pandemic spread. Has more or less accepted that COVID-19 cannot be eliminated by social distancing or through the stringent lockdowns which we are seeing across the globe, because R naught value of this infectious disease is on slightly higher spectrum. It can be controlled by various social distancing protocols, yes, but unless and until vaccination or treatment is developed timely, have to learn to live with the situation. So let's be hopeful that a new treatment or vaccination comes as soon as possible. So in this lecture, we will be discussing what this term R naught means, what are the different values of R naught signify, what are the preconditions when this R naught value is used, because this term is not used in each and every single disease which you see in media. It's rarely or selectively used. Then what are the various factors on which R naught depends, and we will compare R naught value of some of the major infectious diseases which turned into almost a pandemic. So let's decode today's topic, the R naught. So R naught is considered as an important concept in epidemiology and is considered crucial for public health planning, especially in case of outbreaks such as current pandemic. So R naught is a mathematical term which indicates the how infectious or contagious the infectious disease is, and it is also known as reproduction number, because as the disease spreads in population it reproduces itself. So in simple terms, which we have to explain this R naught, we could say R naught is a average number of individuals or persons in which infection is likely to be transmitted by a single infected individual. If the R naught value is higher, more individuals are likely to get the infection themselves. So it's always preferable that R naught value should be on the lower end of the spectrum. So this concept came into vogue in 1920s when demographer Alfred Lotka used the term reproduction number to explain this concept. In 1950s, concept was popularized by epidemiologists. There was George MacDonald who used this concept to highlight the transmission of malaria, because that disease was engulfing a lot of a country. So it concept proved quite useful in predicting the outcome of the disease. So currently, what does different value of R naught value means? Because that's how we apply this concept. So in this, there are two persons. There is Robert May and there is Roy Anderson. In their famous book, have described these how to apply these R naught terms. So if R naught value is less than 1, it means that existing infection is not likely to transmit infection to more than one individual. So in such cases, the infection generally withers out, and eventually just declines. So more or less public health authorities does not feel pressure or burden to handle such diseases. But if R naught value is equal to 1, it means that usual or the existing infection is likely to be causing infection in one more individual. So in these cases, the infection will stay alive and stabilize. But yes, it will not likely to be escalate into a pandemic or an epidemic. And if you have a robust health infrastructure, this problem is likely to be combated in sooner or later. But yes, the third case, when R naught value is more than 1, this means that existing infection is likely to be transmitted to multiple individuals. In this case, there is every possibility that this infection can be take a shape of an epidemic or even possibly a pandemic. So in this scenario, the public health authorities see it as a major challenge, and generally, if you are not spending enough on health infrastructure, your logistics and the preparedness becomes exposed, and it becomes a nightmarish condition to handle such situation, which is currently the case of COVID-19. So coming to the third part, that why this what are the preconditions when this R naught value is being used. So it's not that in all diseases you will apply this concept. So this R naught concept is applied only in those situations when every segment of population is equally vulnerable to get caught in the disease. So when this condition arises, when there are clear signs that there is no existing vaccination for that disease, because that disease is or novel in its origin. The second situation is when there is no standard or defined treatment protocol available. There is no standard drug or first line or second line of drugs available to treat that disease. And thirdly, there is no known history of any individual contracting that disease. So almost all the individuals are at the risk zone of contracting such infection, which you can easily apply this theme to the current situation in COVID-19. There is no vaccine, there is no treatment, and no one has earlier reported any history of such virus. Yes, the coronavirus has multiple strains which have caused earlier infection, but this novel coronavirus is a new one. So let's compare few values of this R naught, because this is not the first time that disease has jumped R naught value of more than 1. If we go back in history, in 1918, you could say the Spanish flu, which killed almost 50 million people, had R naught value ranging from 1.4 to 2.8. And in 2009, we could take swine flu case in picture. In H1N1 was the main virus. It had the R naught value of 1.4 and 1.8. So it resulted in comparatively less casualties because the treatment, the Tamiflu drug, and vaccination was timely developed. So disease was comparatively easy to manage. The current COVID-19 has an R naught value, was originally initially predicted at around 3.7, but now we have almost 187 countries have been affected, and the deaths have turned into lakhs now. So we have a fair idea that what the value is around. Now currently the report suggests that the R naught value of COVID-19 is 5.7, which is quite an alarming level. In simple terms, it means on average a single person can transmit infection to 6 individuals. So in this case, it clearly exposes that yeast infection cannot wither out of its own. More or less, the asymptomatic carriers are likely to transmit infection to almost on average 5 to 6 individuals. So what is the largest significance of this point? That almost 82% of the population need to be immune either through vaccination or through herd immunity if disease is to be its spread is to be contained. So this is where we comes into the picture that we need to live with the disease. There is no escape from this infection, and this is not the highest ever recorded, so we don't need to panic as well, because in measles this R naught value is around 18, so it makes this 5.7 almost one third of that disease. So this is more or less this value gives the picture of an idea of what are the characteristics of that disease and what is the likely prognosis, or in which direction this disease is likely to spread across the globe. So what are the factors on which this R naught value depends? There are multiple factors. The first major factor is the infectious period. If the infectious period in which the person is likely to get infection is a longer one, then the R naught value is going to be the on higher spectrum, because the multiple individuals can come in contact with that person, and the longer the person stays infectious is likely to transmit the infection to multiple individuals. The second angle is mode of transmission, which is even more important, because it is seen if the mode of transmission is droplet infection or airborne infection, like the sneezing, coughing, or through the various droplet modes, then the R naught value is going to be on higher end. Like we have seen in COVID-19, the droplet infection is the main mode, so it is on higher spectrum. Similarly, as so if there had been a blood-borne disease or like AIDS, their R naught value are comparatively less because cannot be directly transmitted through just by touch or through droplet. The third factor is the contact. So if the higher the contact is necessary to transmit the infection, then the R naught value is going to be low. If the minimal contact is transmitting, then once again the value is going to be on higher. So there is complex interplay of multiple factors which make this R naught prediction quite a difficult one. In simple terms, it is said that R naught value is an important meter on which determines the characteristics of pandemic. It is difficult to calculate and even more testing to interpret, because in initial phase there are asymptomatic carriers and we are still to decode how disease is evolving, so it becomes quite a challenge for even epidemiologists to predict how this R naught is going to turn out eventually. So R naught is just to sum up once again, is the average on number of individuals which are likely to get or contract the infectious infection through an infected individual, and it represents average value because it takes into account the super spreader. Super spreader is an individual who is likely to cause infection to multiple individuals. Like in case of COVID, there are individuals who have likely to have transmitted infection to almost 30 or 40 individuals as well, but there could be individuals who have just limited the infection by following the protocols and they are not transmitted to even to immediate family members as well. So this is representing an average of the whole picture, and it reaches to a point where we could deduce that on what scale it is likely to spread in the community. So basically it's not a destination, it is just a measure of potential of the disease spread. So this is it for today's lecture on R naught value. I hope you got some insights on this theme, and there is a practice question on the theme which you could give it a try. We will be back soon with another validation lecture. Thank you very much.